All right, what up, guys? We are about to get started. Starting a little earlier today, so you can see that there's still some sun coming in, which is making my face light up a little bit, but that should go away within 10, 15 minutes. So I talked a little bit about this yesterday because I just couldn't help myself, but I decided that this needs a whole separate stream dedicated to it because there's a few things I didn't get to cover yesterday. There's a few things that were left out. So what I did, we had a pretty fun stream yesterday. It had like basically three components. The first component was the interview I did with I forget his name, the Looks Maxon guy. Anyway, Fresh something like that, Fresh Advice. I forget. You guys know who I'm talking about though. And that was a really interesting discussion we had. I enjoyed talking to him. That lasted about an hour. The second part was I was reacting to parts of the MLD situation, and the third part was actually an impromptu debate between me and Stefan, where Stefan got caught in multiple lies, and that was really entertaining to see as well. So I took that whole Stefan part and I clipped it and I put it on the clips channel, and then I linked I took that link and I linked it off the main channel twice, so everyone can see that. So if you want to see that explosive little debate shit, whatever that happened last night, then you can see it on the clips channel, or you can click on the original video and the link will be there, or you can go on the community tab and the link will be there. So in this one, we're just going to be focusing on the whole MLD story arc, and then afterwards we'll do an open panel. Never know how these are going to go, but yeah, there's a few clips that I think are going to be very interesting. Some of which you guys have never seen before because they're not commonly shown. But let's start off with the very beginning. So first of all, who is MLD? Now, to be honest, part of me felt a little bit bad making this video because I've talked to him on the phone a few times in the past, and he seems like fairly nice, I guess, or like I don't know, he seems all right. Let's just put it that way, right? So I felt kind of bad, but at the same time, like, what, I'm not supposed to cover like a pretty big story that happened in the community just because like I thought someone was like semi-nice for like 2 minutes. I don't know. So anyway, so if MLD watches this, which I'm sure he will, he can come on my channel anytime and we can have a discussion. He can refute any part of what I'm about to say. But I think everything I'm going to say here, I'm just going to be reacting to clips that you guys can see. So I don't think anything here is going to be controversial or up for debate. MLD stands for Modern Life Dating. He's associated with the Fresh and Fit, Rollo Tomasi, Richard Cooper crew. And it's pretty funny to watch them just kind of like all simultaneously, basically just decombusting. We had Rollo have a pretty bad performance a few weeks ago, and now it's Modern Life Dating's turn, right? So who's going to be next? You never know. Is it going to be Richard Cooper? Is it going to be Fresh and Fit? We don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so he's basically your standard red pill advice guy. His whole advice boils down to make money, muscles, mindset. So it's like, yeah, go to the gym. Doesn't really seem like he goes to the gym though. Get money. I don't know anything about his financial situation, and have a good mindset. But it doesn't really seem like he has a good mindset, honestly, from what you're about to see. So he seems like the typical red pillar who says a bunch of basic self-improvement advice that he doesn't really follow himself. But that's just kind of my opinion. Okay, so he seems like a nice guy, but he just doubled down beating him. Yeah, so when I said nice guy, I mean like he was nice to me when we talked on the phone for like 10 minutes, right? I'm not saying he's a nice guy in person. Obviously, that's pretty fucking shitty. And let's get right into that. So this is the thing that kicked things off. Okay. This is where it all began. This is the starting point of the whole Modern Life Dating saga. So here we have my buddy Destiny with his attractive Swedish wife Melina, and a bunch of girls on the whatever podcast. And so here's where things start getting good.
From
Would
who?
you from both?
This is so
If
rare.
anyone
So
really.
rare.
I mean, it happens.
Go on.
I'm
Go on.
just- My point is, I'm just even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
It is.
if it would happen, what would you recommend for those people to do? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real.
Okay, wait. I need to go a tiny bit more back because there's something very important that she says.
Is it that you?
Yeah, I
wanted
was
to
just
say?
curious. I just wanted to see like an honest answer on this one. If there's someone that's very, very young, might be really religious and like values marriage a lot, and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, and then a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive.
From who?
Would you from both?
This is so
If
rare.
anyone
It's
really.
Rare.
I
Go
mean, it
on.
happens.
Go on.
I'm
Go on.
just- My point is, I'm
Hypothetically.
just even though it might be rare from what
It's not rare at all. I mean, that shit happens all the time, but okay.
you guys think.
It is. Go on.
If it would happen, what would you recommend for those people to do? Would they divorce, or do you want them to keep going in the relationship?
Keep going.
You can't divorce. I mean, that's not a real thing. You can like separate. See,
You can't divorce. It's not a real thing. What the fuck is this guy talking about?
his Catholic background shines through. He knows.
I don't know.
You can't
Things
divorce.
are really
You can
married.
you can separate, but you can't actually divorce. That's not a real thing.
Even though it might be like physically
You,
abusive.
you got to endure. People are too.
You want to stick in
You
the
wanna-
relationship.
People are
physical
just.
See,
abuse.
I mean, look,
people
I'm gonna be
nowadays
honest.
are just pussies. Everybody fucking quits. Everybody gives up. It's too hard. I'm this XYZ. This is why I'm special, so I can fuck up this entire situation
It's pretty funny too because he's saying everyone nowadays quits, and you're going to see how that plays out later.
based upon me being special. And the reality is, people just haven't learned to fucking endure. There have been hard times in relationship. I'm sure you guys had hard times in relationship. Any relationship has hard time, and it
Okay.
is what it is. You need to push through. And you
What
need
if
to
the
endure
kid
because
is
we're in
getting
this.
abused?
Hold on, because we're in this situation now, like where everybody's just creating this like super nuanced, like 1% example of like, well, what if the kid's fucking transgender, black, and abused, and he's a Black Lives Matter supporter? Like, cool,
Yeah.
okay, I get like that one fucking
No, but I'm
minute
asking for anyone
situation.
that might be in that situation. What would you recommend?
Okay, here's-
Endure.
I'll tell
Would
you
they
what.
give
I'll,
up
I'll tell you what.
divorce?
I would I do. don't. That's.
I'll tell you what.
Endure.
Just-
I'll tell you
okay.
what I would do.
So that was basically the clip that went viral. Why did this go viral? Because he's basically saying, because the initial proposition was, hey, if you're in a relationship and it's abusive, what should you do? And he's like, endure. Like, yeah, but like, what if they're beating the shit out of each other? Endure. Well, what if like there's like bottles being thrown around, like someone's being decapitated? Endure. Right? It just seems like a really dumb take. Like, obviously, the common sense thing here is if you're in a relationship, guy or girl, right? So if you're a guy in your relationship and your wife has ever, or your girlfriend ever physically abused you in any way, even puts her hand on you, that's the end of that relationship. I am walking the fuck away from that. She's getting absolutely 0 second chances, just like with cheating. Same thing goes the other way. If you're a woman and a guy ever puts his hands on you, then you should walk the fuck away. No second chances. I mean, there could be like a little bit like of a misunderstanding, like maybe like if you accidentally bump into the girl or something like that, that's obviously okay. But like if it's actually deliberate, like physical assault, like why the fuck would you do that? So that's basically what this basically kind of went viral because again, in a lot of feminist circle, because it's just so absurd. Like the idea that like someone would be saying, yeah, if you're physically abused, just endure. You're being there's a pedophile that's coming after you. Just endure his pedophilia. I mean, it's like, what the fuck, man? But anyway, so that was the start of this whole thing, and then here's where things got really juicy. So let's go move on to next. And this happened on the. Oh wait, we have a super chat. Let me just read it. I'm trying to get better about like acknowledging people's chats. Dude teaches inner game, but he doesn't hold frame. Well, very true. Okay. Let's go into this one. So this is where things get really funny. Here debate. Okay, this is the one. So this is on the Valuetainment podcast. I've been on there a few times. Okay, good guys.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life. I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a.
Doesn't it seem like this dude just absolutely does not hit legs? Like his upper body is just like so much proportionally bigger than his lower body. I mean, I don't know. I mean, like, I guess it's tempting to skip leg day, but it seems like the chicks have bigger legs than him. I mean, Jesus Christ, man.
normal,
I know legs are not that fun to do, but you got to do them once in a while.
mentally stable, healthy woman. So,
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah,
You do?
yeah.
Weren't you the same one of like fat?
Now, keep that in mind when he says, "I think I have healthy habits." Right? Keep that in mind because that's gonna play into the next video. So all this stuff is gonna tie nicely into each other. You're gonna see a nice little I don't know. Let's just say a tale of hypocrisy here. So let's get into this.
Fat shame me like last week or so?
I don't know.
You think that's normal from a man, from a stranger to fat shame somebody?
I don't remember. Did I call you fat?
Oh,
Don't do that. Don't do that. You know what you were in the chat. You knew you were in the chat. Don't do that on camera.
So provide context. This is the girl. She's actually one of the hosts. She's a co-host. She's kind of behind the scenes, but not really. She typically during debates stays very neutral. She doesn't take a side. So it's pretty rare to see her taking a side, which I think means that she like really didn't like him saying that because again, she's the one. So this girl's job is to basically monitor the super chats. That's a big part of her job. I think she does some other shit, but that's a big part of her job is to monitor the super chats. So what she's getting at is, hey, I actually saw you because I'm the one that monitors the super chat, basically saying the thing that you're denying right now, just to kind of put that in context, like who this girl is. Also, like super fucking hot chick. If you see her, you never get to see her from like a waist above, but like very pretty girl. Also super nice.
I don't know.
Don't do that.
Don't do
Don't
what?
do that,
You have a
MLD, because
strange
you
way
were
of,
in the
like-
chat with your checkmark name doing that.
What was I
own
saying?
up. Listen, it's okay if you want to do those things,
Yeah.
but own up to what you do.
What was I saying?
I mean, women are apparently like CEO of not taking accountability, but I mean, I guess you should change your pronouns because I'd say you're kind of in the same bracket when it comes to that.
All right, I'll get right on that.
And that's not masculine energy.
Just
Masculine energy
High
owns
value
up
men. Remember, I told you
to
that.
what
Don't
they
call people
say.
horse either.
I'm just saying. I mean,
Yeah.
women can't handle criticism. I took that like a champ. That's fine. I'll take that. But I think you yourself as a man should probably work on that instead of saying that I don't want to traumatize women, because it definitely shows that
I don't
you
want
have-
to. I don't want to traumatize.
We
women.
don't want to traumatize men either. That's the thing. So
Okay.
that's why it's easier to go to Japan and find the konnichiwa type of girl, because they're not going to debate with you. That's the problem.
That's right. They're just robotic female slaves in Japan. They have no personalities.
It
They just say
shows.
konnichiwa.
There's like an element of truth to what she's saying. Okay, like I know what he's doing. He's kind of going over the top to like blow out her claim. But like obviously women in Japan are going to be more submissive, right? And for a lot of people, that's a good thing, right? And there's nothing wrong with wanting more submissive women, right? But the idea, like he's kind of mocking the idea of what she's getting. It's like, hey, you went to Japan because you don't want a girl to argue with, right? You want a girl who's very submissive. Instead of just like owning that, I mean, like, yeah, I don't like a girl who's argumentative. I like a girl who's very submissive, right? That's the argument he needs to make here. Not like, oh, well, they're just like robots, right? He's just like going over the top. But it doesn't work because her argument is actually legit. He's just not handling it the right way.
Yeah, so me saying all that shit that you like, it's evident that you're used to women who don't check you when you're being irrational
Thanks.
and way out of place.
Thanks for the whole synopsis on the 37 years of my
It
life.
shows.
You've,
Well,
you've
age
arrived
really
here
doesn't
in
mean
an
to a
hour and
lot of
half.
people. It shows like you could be. My grandma's 80 years old and still drives like shit. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I would have to say, you sound like somebody who really looks down on women with the way that. I mean, you even made a whole hit piece on that. I think that's weird.
I didn't make a hit piece on her.
This guy, you should really change your pronouns, because I could see that's not your best trait to actually own up to what you do, and I think that's really disgusting.
Why don't you sit in your masculine energy and maybe just apologize for what you said? I think that that's very masculine. I think that's a great way, because I feel like, number one, in a war, everyone thinks they're right?
Yes.
So I think that right now is a great opportunity for you to show that men can be masculine and have feelings and can also regress and think back about what they said. Maybe in the moment you said it because you got excited or whatever, and you were just in this phase of yours. But I think sitting here in front of her, you're talking about that you want this wife and this submissive person and all of this, but where's your respect towards women?
Yes.
And don't you run like an entire
apologize
male
to her.
empowerment thing? Like, I think that's important that people look up to you. And you know what's funny? I actually subscribed to you prior to you doing that. I thought that was so out of pocket. I was like, wow, like people like you, respectfully to anyone that's listening. This is why I stepped out of the red pill space, because you guys are so quick to demonize women in the West. But mind you, all of these girls have been working since we were old enough to work. A lot of us have to retire our families. But instead of people seeing that, you guys demonize women for masculine traits when we're also working just like you. And I don't expect respect, but like there was no beef and it was so unnecessary. And I think that's accountability that some people should take, but to each their own.
Yes.
Just saying.
So what are you upset that I called you fat?
This is upset. This is upset.
Clearly.
This is addressing.
Well,
and I
why
think
don't
it's
you want to
important
own up to
address.
what you said, though? Why
What
are you
was it? What was
denying
it that was
And
said?
if anything, we're kind of built the same, which is funny, dude. We're like, I mean, come on, man. You can't be sitting there acting like we're like, oh, and I'm like, dude, honestly, that's so out of pocket in so many ways.
Well, how about this?
Yeah.
This came out of left field, but I don't know. I'm like tuned in right now. Like,
Yeah,
oh,
but
I didn't know
let
this
him,
was
let him
happening on
own
my
up.
show.
Let
But here
him
we
own
go.
up to what was
Here we go.
said and let him clear
So,
the room.
all
If
good.
we misinterpreted,
Ladies, hold on.
if we didn't
All right.
understand, let him
So
clear the air.
guys, let me just.
Wait, who's that chick? The blonde chick? Is that Gusti Janice? I can't fucking tell. Can someone tell me if that's her or
Close the
not?
show for a second. You're upset because why?
I think that, listen, criticism, sure, but be real and own up to whatever mistake you make. Because again, you are
Okay.
leading whatever.
What
group
did
you
I
are.
say? What is so upsetting? I don't get it. Why didn't you
Is
talk to
this-
me?
you
Is
don't
this
know
chick
what
supposed
to
to be
do?
attractive?
Why
You
didn't
do all
you-
this content and you comment all these things, but you don't remember what you do. But you have all the comments to be made.
No, it's okay.
Oh my god, it's so funny because this chick is like usually so neutral. So she's thinking aside too. So she really just does not like him.
I'll just endure this like I should in an abusive relationship.
Okay, so MLD, what do you recall?
So that's a kind of I guess like a reference back to his earlier comment. But yeah, he's just getting like kind of clowned right now, and he's just very easily losing control of the situation. Now, in his defense, it is pretty tough when you have like fucking 5 chicks against you. Although I would say Adam is kind of on his side. So, but yeah, this is gonna get worse and worse.
Call of this.
I'm still waiting for that. Like, I don't get it. What was said that made you so upset?
This is the problem. So if we reverse the roles, if a woman addressed this, you're
So
like,
you're
you're
just
being
not
emotional.
gonna answer the question.
There is nothing. I've
Why
said
don't
it
you
like 5
answer the
times.
question?
I'm asking the question. Why are you so mad?
This is
She's
not.
already said it.
Because
What
what?
if I
What
want-
did you do?
She's already
You're saying that he
explained
called you fat and you're addressing
to
it.
just take accountability for it. Like, oh my bad, I was
Because
probably
he's
just slurring
talking
on
about
Hennessy.
women that they have to do X, Y, and Z and all this what they have to do,
Yeah.
and you shouldn't, treat women badly because they have to submit to you. And in Tokyo or whatever, they're so feminine and this and that. But it's here, you come here, and when there's women are making valid points and there are respectable women, you come in the chat and you fat shame or you go and make pieces about people or whatever it is that you want to do. At the end of the day, all that's being said is that, listen, if you're going to do those things, own up to it and then make your point about it. If you're going to do these things and you're not going to own up to it, and then what's the point? You're just what, bullying people?
She is right from an optics perspective, right? When you do something, you have to own up to it like that. Unless you didn't do it. If you didn't do it, then very aggressively fight against it. So if he never did say that remark and he knows that didn't happen, that would just keep pushing. I'd be like, what is the remark? Show me the remark. Kind of how I did with Stefan last night, right? Like I knew that the stuff he was talking about didn't exist, right? So there's nothing for me to own up to. So I just kept pushing him, like, show me the screenshot. Where is the screenshot? When did it happen? What time, right? And that's how you deal with it when it didn't happen. But when you did do something like that and you know it happened, you know the proof exists, then in that situation, you just have to own it, right? So you just be like, yeah, listen, honestly, I'm not trying to hold your feelings, but I'm not really that into fat girls. You're a little bit overweight. You know, it is what it is. Sorry, don't know what else to tell you, right? You just own the fact that you said that she was fat. Like, hey, listen, yeah, I mean, you're clearly 30, 40 pounds overweight. Not trying to be rude, but that's not really my thing. Like, bam. Problem solved, right? And at that point, she can either keep going, but probably she'll be like, okay, well, whatever. I'm not for everyone, right? I think that's how you would kind of like deal with the situation. But if you keep like deflecting, right, then things get worse and worse and worse.
But like, there's no integrity in what you stand on. Like nowadays, like you're running a space where men stand on principles and honor, but like you see someone's face and you completely dismiss the fact that was disgusting. We're not in a Call of Duty lobby. Like I don't know you. It wasn't like I've said something to you. I said anything to you. I've stepped out of the combative space of the red pill stuff because of guys like you. And you prove my point to it. It's like, I don't know you. You don't have to do that. And that's fine. Mm-hmm. It's fine if I said that you're not my preference. I've never attacked you before.
Right.
I'm still waiting for what made you upset.
It's okay. Right now, we're going to call you the delusional girl.
All right. How about I just,
we can just stick to that.
Leave because this is retarded.
No, I will.
So yeah, you can never just like threaten to walk away when things aren't looking good for you. That just makes, from an optics perspective, that makes things look so much worse.
You leave,
you're upset
because why would you leave? You literally are. You're an example.
Can somebody tell me what I said that everybody's so upset about that I'm still waiting on?
What was the example that? Just to be clear,
I'll do the three. Was it three? I'm pretty sure it was. Is this chick supposed to be attractive? 1, 2. She's 40 pounds too heavy.
Yep.
XYZ. Something about weight. I wouldn't listen to her. Like you just went on a rant. It was like.
How do you know that was him though?
Because it was his name with a check mark in the chat.
Do you recall doing that?
I guess so. So
that's the problem. When you denied for like 20 minutes and you finally acknowledge it, kind of like, again, to keep referencing back with the Stefan thing, right? Like I kept pushing him, and finally he admitted, okay, no, she never actually told me that, right? That looks really, really bad. It looks like you got exposed. Versus if you just own up to it right away, then there's nothing people can really expose you on. So that's the issue. It's just like, you know you did it, right? It's like the kid with his hand in the cookie jar. Just fucking own up to it, and then there's nothing really anyone else can do.
You're mad because I said you're 40 pounds overweight. I'm on every chat. I'm in Fresh and Fit. You know how it is when you're a streamer. You're in all these chats. I did like 6 shows in the last 6 days.
So just say sorry.
So just own up to being a piece of shit.
No. So I'm not. So first of all, I'm not a piece of shit.
You don't think that's piece of shit behavior?
Okay, don't talk to me like that. All right.
This is a pretty cringy way to establish boundaries. This will work if you're like one-on-one with your girlfriend or something like that, where there's an element of well, actually, if your girlfriend calls you a piece of shit, that's probably a problem in of itself. But in a situation that's like much more intimate, but in a show setting, people are just going to think it's like people are just going to laugh at you, basically, like the girls are doing right now. They're like, psh, they don't take this guy seriously anymore. So the only way you can basically combat this is to hit it from like the social pressure angle, where it's like, oh, okay, so you're just going to, instead of making points, you're just going to insult me, right? Like, you're just going to attack me. I didn't call you a piece of shit. Why are you calling me a piece of shit? So basically, you're putting social pressure on her to basically engage in the debate politely, right? That's really the only way to go about it in a situation like this. Just saying, don't do that, right? She knows that you're not going to do shit. She knows that you have absolutely zero bite behind your bark, right? So she's just going to laugh at you, right? And that's what's happening here, right? So it doesn't work. Like, being a tough guy only works in certain situations, right? But in this situation, the only tool you can use is social pressure.
So you're upset.
All right. I said what I said. I do think maybe you were 40 pounds overweight.
Sure.
So what's wrong with that?
We can match each other's energy. All I had to say was you need to like own up to your shit, because it's weird that you would face me. Yeah, after like pulling teeth. Are you good?
No, after you talking over me and freaking
This
trauma
was
dumping
Did I say
live
that?
on
I
the
don't know what I said.
show.
See what I said?
You
I don't
pick
even know
these
what I said.
words and like you throw them on people. But if I acted the way you act, you would demonize me. If I literally attacked you the way you attacked me, if I said the things that's disrespectful. If another man said the shit that you said to me, oh, that's fighting words. But yet a woman says it to you, oh, she's being dramatic.
I think she's right about that.
She's masculine. She's emotional. But
I didn't call you any of those
where's
things.
the vein coming out of my neck that I'm so triggered right now that, oh, she's mad? I think it's disgusting that you act that way. It's so like unattractive and not manly, but yet you sit here and shame women. Oh, I can't wait to go back to Japan. I just think there again, you're leading a bunch of cows to follow you. And you're like, yeah, this is how men should act. That's not how men in my family and in my life act. And it's so unattractive that you think that's normal. So you are part of the problem in the West is what I'm basically saying.
Okay.
So let's try to put a silver lining on this thing. This came out.
Christ.
How should he have acted, in your opinion?
We walked in the green room. All you had to do was say, hey, no hard feelings. I was just on the little juice a little bit. I was tripping. My bad. I would have been like, all right, bro, like all fair is word. That's fine. I would have dropped it. But the fact that you walk in the room, you don't address it, you sit here, it's like awkward. I'm like, this is how, again, people like you want women to submit to this garbage nonsense. And you're, well, women are not submissive. Why would I submit to that type of activity? But again, this is showbiz. That's fine.
You're totally entitled to that. I'll give you,
I didn't even know who she is when I was in the waiting room.
That's the whole point.
But just the lying like this, it's just guys. Just like when you get caught, like just lying more is just gonna dig yourself a deeper hole.
My God, you are meant for the camera, my friend. You are something else. You don't know who she was when you were in the chat?
No.
I'm telling you, that chick, here, let's go back. Just see, this chick never gets involved in like the debates. Like I've been there, at least not during the times I've been there. I've been there twice. I've never seen her do anything but like, read the super chats.
Bro, in the chat?
No.
It's no.
In the
it's
camera,
fine.
in the back room?
No, it's okay.
all right, well, how about this?
Oh my God.
Is there
You
anything
just
you would like to
exposed
take
yourself.
back or
Good job.
apologize? Whatever you want.
No, not after
Okay.
being treated like that. Absolutely not. I'm not gonna be talked down to by like some child.
And then playing victim is also just another really cringe tactic. Like after being talked down to and being treated like a child, bro. Like the problem is that playing victim doesn't work here because you drew first blood. You cannot be victim when you were the one that attacked first. So like, let's say that I'm doing a debate against someone and I call him a fag. And then they say something like, well, you're just a fucking loser. And I try to play victim. Like, you can't believe you called me a loser, right? No one's going to take my side because I struck first, right? So you can only play victim I don't think you ever should play victim, but the victim strategy only works when you're being attacked first. So he's not really like socially savvy around these situations at all, it seems like.
That has no decency to communicate with me in a respectful manner.
It starts with you. What
Okay.
man leads a relationship like that? You don't even have to lead
All
in
right,
general
all
down,
right,
space.
you guys are better than me. You win. Cool. Next question. please.
Amazing.
Anyway,
She's not talking down to you. She's
you guys
she's
good?
just confronting
Amazing.
herself.
You guys good? All right. I had like 3 more topics to get to, but I'm sitting in the middle of this like, holy shit. Anyway, I hope you guys at least after the show can hug it out. I don't know if that's possible.
I got a
Maybe
hard out
mud
at 6. I
wrestle.
told you.
Okay, we got to get you on. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed this last segment. This came out of nowhere. This is live TV, ladies and gentlemen. I didn't expect that happening, but I hope you guys genuinely can figure this out after the show. No hard feelings. I understand where you're at. Natalia.
Adam is always such a peacemaker. Like there's nothing to understand about his position. His position is that he got caught lying. Like that's his position. But yeah, Adam does like to play neutral a lot, which I understand. It's a good strategy because it allows you to keep a relationship with a bunch of guests. Instead of having to like pick a team. So it's a good strategy from running a podcast perspective.
Yeah. Final super chats. Let's get some winners and we'll go to the happy ending and we got to wrap up for today.
Okay, so I will go through. Let's see where to start. I'll start with the one on my screen right here. Being Cheeks, I never subbed to Angela or MLD, but Angela got my vote for the rose. Typical red pill guys never take accountability for the same way OnlyFans girls in their future. Then we have this one. Being Cheeks, have more enthusiasm reading the chat. I will. Then we have Full We Todd. Divorce is actually worse than average men. They end up lying in their cars and sitting on earth for men at 40. Self-destruction. Sorry, it was a little blurry when I took a picture. Then we have Redo.
Hold on, guys. As we're doing this, production team, real quick. I know we're wrapping up. MLD literally has to go. He's not walking off. He said at 6 o'clock he needed to hard out at 6 o'clock right now. MLD, final words before you run off. I don't want to go out like this. Anything you would like to say before you do?
I got nothing to say.
See, my point.
All right, brother.
So I feel like they cut parts out because I remember when I was watching this initially, the girls were making fun of him for looking like really red. They're like, "Why are you turning so red?" So it almost feels like part of this have been cut out. Can anyone confirm this? Because I clearly remember them making fun of him for turning red. Let's see if it happens maybe after.
Thank you. Sorry.
Of course, bro. Joey, let's make sure he gets out safely.
Oh shit.
Wow. Anyway.
And we're the ones that get
He's
our
not
period.
You guys, I'm just listen, for the record, just so everyone's on the same page here, me and MLD are cool. We've got 0 issues. He's always been super respectful.
No,
But at the same time, you and I are also very cool. We've also been very respectful together. This is on you guys to address publicly, privately, whatever. This is on you guys. For the record, I had no clue that any of this was going to happen. It's great for TV, but not exactly what I wanted to happen on my show. but such is life. Anyway, guys, sorry about that. If you were offended or enjoyed it, you're an S&M type.
I feel like parts of it were cut out, man. Dude, there was. Can someone confirm this? That he was. No, you were probably watching a reaction clip where they say, "Look at the main base in the restaurant." Oh, okay, yeah, okay, fair enough. Yeah, I was probably watching a reaction. Okay, let's move on to the next part. So he kind of walks off, which is obviously a badass fucking look for all the reasons that I described. Now, and then this happens. There's two more things I'm gonna show you guys. Okay, this video drops by Abba and Preach. I like these dudes.
Yes.
If there's someone that's very, very young and goes into a marriage and has kids when they're like 18, 19, 20, a year into the relationship, it gets really, really abusive. Even though it might be rare from what you guys think,
It is. Go on.
if it would happen, what would you recommend for those people?
People should do.
What about if two people get married?
Yeah. So he's going around explaining what he meant.
3 days later. But I did say if there was one instance, because relationships, every relationship has fights. Every relationship has ups and downs. Anybody who says otherwise is a liar. Okay, there's conflict in relationships. Period. Even the happiest couples in the world, they have conflict. Anybody who denies that, like I said, they're lying.
I think you just substituted or slipped something in there very slickly as if it made your argument. Nobody said there aren't conflicts in relationships. Nobody said there aren't fights in a relationship. What people said is just because those things exist doesn't mean you put your hands on your partner during one.
Even once. I don't want a traumatized woman in my life. I don't want any history of trauma. I've dealt with those kind of fucking nutbags, and I don't ever want to deal with it ever again. I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman. So
You think you're normal? Exactly.
in what sense?
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah.
Some motherfuckers must really hate you. Because after the last video, I just got people sending me everything. What did you say?
I punched a Latina bitch in the face at Rockon.
No, I can't confirm the supreme leader thing. That is his. I don't know why he does that, but he does call himself supreme leader. I know that for a fact.
What's Rockon?
It's a club in Japan. He lives over there. He was talking shit to some guy. I guess people just linking the group chats. He was talking shit to some guy, and the guy said to him, "Well, at least I've never been arrested for glassing a bitch." And he's like, "Yo, why are you so sensitive? Are you going to leave next?" So that's the MLD saying, like, "Why are you so sensitive? Why are you bringing that up?" And the guy says, "I'm not sensitive, just giving back some." And then MLD says, "You act like that's the last bitch I'll smite on this planet."
Well, do you think you have healthy habits?
Yeah.
I think it's very bizarre that someone accuses or says that you bottled a woman in the face, and your response is, "That didn't happen." Your response is, "Are you being sensitive right now? Why are you bringing this up?" Then it makes me really think you did do that shit. Also, how would you kill this for being so disgusting? Personally, I think a good old-fashioned bludgeoning is the way to go. Big old monkey wrench to the head. And then he
Jesus fucking Christ.
posts her picture in the group chat.
Group chats, like when screenshots are leaked, it really provides you a good behind the scenes idea of how people interact. Like with me, for example, there's nothing that can be revealed through a group chat or like a text conversation that you guys would be surprised about. It's basically exactly what I do online. I talk some shit, I'm pretty friendly, blah blah, pretty anti-violence and whatnot. But I think I love it when, like, for another content creator, like especially these red pill guys, they're so different online as they are offline, and this shit gets leaked. It cracks me the fuck up.
I don't want a traumatized woman in my life.
Time to beat Aya. I'm going to beat Aya for not being pretty enough. I have to beat Aya for letting this happen.
I want to deal with a normal, mentally stable, healthy woman.
I will glass a bitch with a champagne bottle for the honor of the group. If this happens, I'll have so much fucking money. I'm gonna glass like 17 bitches. Now, mind you, everything here I've been sent screen recordings for, so none of it is like edited photo. So this is him contacting somebody else about the incident in Japan. He goes, you can see the video as he's scrolling. He says, "Hey, sorry to bother you about this. This guy attacked an innocent girl in Roppongi, and the police found him. I heard he did something to you. Is that true?" And the woman in question, who's Japanese, she goes, "Yes, true. What him make for the girl?" Which I think is her broken English. "Yeah, I know he's a real scumbag. Is it true that he punched you in your face?" And she says, "Yes. What happened with the other girl?" And he says, "Are you sure it's definitely this guy?" To which she replies, "Yes." And so a couple other people from Japan contact me and said that this guy was charged for bottling a woman in the face after she rejected him at a club. This went to court. He settled out of court. The woman has a scar across her face. She didn't want to come forward and bring this up, nor does she want to be involved because she's been traumatized by the experience since.
Enough.
And people send me messages to people that know her and people know of the incident, and all these are real. I made sure they sent me videos to show me they didn't fake no fucking DMs.
And that was like a club in Japan?
Yeah, and he's also being charged for somebody else in Japan. So why am I bringing all this up? Listen, group chats are your business. Personally, I've never been in a group chat where folks brag about punching women in the face or take joy in talking about how they want to kill somebody that they saw on Bumble because they're ugly, okay? But when this guy's getting on podcast talking about he wants a well-adjusted, normal woman who's not traumatized, I'm like, brother, do you hear yourself? Do you see the stuff that you be writing? And then you want to be on a podcast tell women like, yo, listen, if you get hit once or more,
endure.
This is the person telling you to endure.
I told you was putting some olive oil in some garlic. You were about to cook.
He's like, what am I reading, bro?
Yo, look at the flick of the wrist. Look at the flick of the... Yo.
Again, maybe that's how you guys talk in your group chats. Maybe I'm unaware because I only spend my
No, I don't think so.
group chats. And it must be peaceful.
I don't think most dudes talk like that in their group chat. So then there was that was dropped, which is like, okay, that's like pretty fucking creepy as fuck. And then this is an old clip that I figured I'd bring up because it's kind of pretty sad, honestly. I would say pretty pathetic. This is on Stefan's channel. Ironically, there's a little bit of irony there. He must have posted this like ages ago. So anyway, so let's play this. So this is involves. We have here Myron before he was even Myron. This is when he was Unplugged Fit. We have Modern Life Dating. We have QB Willie, and we have a bunch of other people who I have no idea who the fuck they are.
Yeah, see, I'm not living the life. Right. Yeah, you see, you just move. All you do is keep counting, Willie. I know counting is hard for you. I know reading is hard for you. You can find. I know you don't know what French champagne is. I know you don't know how to business works. Hey, Willie, I know you're still Willie. You say that I'm charging something $3,000. You're so fucking stupid. I don't charge anything for $3,000. I don't charge anything for $3,000. Where have you seen that? You uneducated monkey. You are so stupid.
Uneducated monkey.
You are a filthy, stinking ape. You're
Just as a side note, for anyone who's not familiar, QB is black.
so dumb.
I'm a filthy, stinking ape.
Yes. You're a filthy, stinking ape, bro. Look at, can you not count? Can you not?
You still haven't shown women. You know what I'm
Bro,
saying?
you got no pictures on your Instagram.
You got nothing.
What are you talking about? You got no pictures on Instagram talking shit. You want to show your
I
face?
do have pictures
pic
on my Instagram, bro.
I'm looking at your shit right now.
That's not my page, bro.
Oh, it's not?
QB Willie B, just like how you see it in the avatar, bro.
That's literally what I typed in, bro. KT Brave 11, right? That's you?
Yeah, that's me, bro.
Okay, what does it say, asshole? 00, which is exactly what's in your bank account. Because you got no picture.
No,
you got no money.
No, there's pictures there, bro.
You know what I'm saying?
Guys are very deceitful, but it's all
You
good.
guys are very deceitful, says the guy hiding his face. Is that not the definition of deceit? Can you spell deceitful? Spell deceitful right now. Spell deceitful.
I don't have to show my face, bro.
Spell deceitful.
I don't have to show
Who
my
is the
face.
Prime Minister of
So,
Japan?
Again, Myron.
Who was just appointed as the supreme? Who was just the service approval?
You're in the land of daddies, and you're not.
I literally just kicked the bitch out of my place just now, bro. You don't understand. When you have options, you can do that. But you don't know. You can't.
You're not showing nothing.
You're on an internet app that's about pictures with 0 pictures. You're a fucking.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
It's not true.
That's not true.
This 00. You guys see that on the fucking chat?
No.
0.
Exactly.
No
That's
pictures.
not true, bro.
You're a fucking ass clown, and you're a loser. You're on a fucking
Why
picture.
don't you send me a message on Instagram?
You're on a
to
picture
prove
app
that
with
you're
no
lying,
pictures, bro. You're a fucking
I have
boy.
pictures. Okay.
Oh, okay. Then put yourself on camera, bro. Okay. You're over here.
Anyway, we've heard enough of the squabbling, so yeah, there's actually a lot more things about him, but those things are less confirmed, so I don't want to show them in case they're not true. There's a whole bunch of other things that he's been accused of again, but I don't know for a fact if they're true or not, so you guys can look into them yourself. I don't want to show something on my channel that I don't know for a fact to be true. But yeah, that was pretty funny. So I don't know. Will he recover from this? It's possible. I mean, Sneeko recovered from his little cuck gate 2022. I mean, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But I don't think he's ever going to be as like, I think he's always going to be getting like mocked for this, for the number one endure thing, for two, walking out of that podcast and getting called out by the girls and lying about it, and three, for people saying now that he like balled a woman in the head and he seems proud of it. So yeah, I think he's going to have a really, really hard time, recovering from that. But we'll see what happens. Did you watch Donovan Sharp and MLD talking clip? I did not. No. What is it about? I bet Myron regrets emailing him. I think he does. Playing with Fire is the only live studio appearance, and oh well, I never invited him, so. Okay, racism and crime is for okay. Please do not spam in the chat. Okay, there we go. Okay. Yeah, so is there anything else to cover when this with this? I mean, I see there's a lot of trolls in the chat. I don't know if they're gonna come on the panel. It's gonna be interesting. Probably not though. It was Davo and MLD talking after Valentine, and MLD telling his side Destiny reacted to in his last night Destiny's channel. Valentine. Okay, let me see if I can find that. Alex, did you say you were going on Fresh? No. I said that I would be willing to go on their podcast for the Rolo debate. They never invited me. We never have anything set up, and it's probably not going to happen. Okay, deleting the spammers. Okay, let's see what this Destiny Donovan situation is. Destiny Donovan Sharp MLB. I would need to see a link to it because I can't really find it. But no, I feel like we covered him adequately. This dude, unless there's any new good clips that that come up. I mean, I feel like this probably tells you all you need to know. And again, if you want to see more, there's a lot more shit that exists. You can just Google him. Again, don't know if they're true or not, so can't comment. Okay, let's do a little Q&A and then let's open up the panel and see what's going to happen. Alex, what is your experience with Persian girls who speak English and listen in their first language? I've done it countless times. I speak a little bit of Spanish. I speak Russian fluently. So even with girls who don't speak either one of those languages, it's fine. I mean, I've hooked up with girls who don't really speak English. Destiny debates with the Angry Man. That's another good one. I did see that one. That was a shit show. I want to come debate you live in studio, Alex. I'm not sure if I can make it for the July because I'll be in full swing at work. Yeah, I mean, I don't think we have enough content for us to debate in the studio. Like, I only do studio things for like special guests. But you can come on the panel. We can have a discussion. If we have disagreements, then we can debate them, I guess. Ignored all the hypocrisy, calling out about the monkey, calling out his hypocrisy about monkey. I don't think I've ever called anyone a monkey, but if you want to come on, Aeneas, you can more than welcome to come on. You can make your point, or you can keep hiding in the chat. The red pill is desperate for role models, just how dumb they break down when they come sniffing their breadcrumbs when they're getting baked by birds. Yeah, I think there's a lot of dudes who don't have good role models, and they are looking for those role models. MLD said in that clip something like that. The chicks were comfortable saying that in the West, as they say, and that if they were in another country. But like, what would happen in another country? I mean, this is like are you talking about the chicks in the studio who like made fun of him? Because even if this wasn't like a third world country, like nothing's going to happen. This is in a studio, like it's protected. There's security guards everywhere. You turned down my big topics. Just to clarify what this big topic is, it's flat Earth. That's like the least type of interesting debate to me is flat Earth and religion. I think they're both really dumb debates. So yeah, I have no interest in doing those debates. Okay. MLD has mentioned multiple times he's not red pill. Yeah, it's interesting to see how a lot of these like red pillers, quote unquote, are now like dissociating from the red pill. What's his name? Like Tate is now like saying he's not a red pill. MLD, But at the end of the day, I think the red pill comes down to a series of beliefs. And it seems like MLD would agree that with the vast majority of red pill beliefs, I mean, he perfectly personifies them. So the question is, okay, MLD, what red pill beliefs do you disagree with? I don't think he would have a good answer for that. But again, if he ever wants to come on, he's welcome on my channel. I mean, I kind of feel like it would be like kicking a person while they're down, but he can tell his side of the story if he wants to. Donovan MLD saying wouldn't get beat in another country for talking to him like that. Not in a studio, maybe off studio. Alex, you didn't tell us you speak Russian fluently. It's awesome, dude. The way you speak English, nobody can hear you in Russian. I got lucky. I moved to America when I was 7 years old, but occasionally my Russian accent comes out. Greg called Stefan a monkey and you ignored it, but made a point to say that QB who was black. Okay, well, if you show me the clip, then I'll definitely not be happy about that. I mean, yeah, I think it's wrong to call black people monkeys. That's my pretty straightforward position. I've never seen a clip of Greg saying that, but yeah, you can show it to me. I'll take a look. I saw it. Zerko said he was going to interview Andrew Tate today. Tristan Tate said, then called him out, said it wasn't true. Yeah. I don't know. Alex Tate has said many times not a fan of Red Pill. There's a video from Mediocre Trolls who shared some of those clips. Tate shitting on the Red Pill. Okay, interesting. Well, though, I would have the same question for Andrew. What Red Pill beliefs do you disagree with? MLD blocked tomfoolery, lol, diaper boy. Okay, interesting. All right, so I guess we flew through this pretty fast. We flew through it faster than I thought. MLD backed away from debating Undead Chronic. Alex, Greg did call Stefan a monkey, but after Stefan called him a cracker, does that make it better? I don't know. I think it probably makes it a little bit better, I guess. Still probably not that cool. I don't know. I think the difference also is I think there's a difference between saying like monkey once and like repeatedly saying like you dumb, uneducated. Like the vitriol also I think plays a role. Okay, anyway, let's drop the link, I guess, and we'll just let people come on. So I think we covered this pretty adequately. All right, link is dropped. Tom Foley spoke to a girl who was at MLD, whatever pocket. She said he was drinking heavily. Let's try to get Tom Foolery on, actually. Let me see if he's streaming right now. I might be able to get him on and have a discussion. Let me see if he's streaming right now. He's not streaming right now. Let me see if I can contact him. Okay, I'm going to try to reach out to him. Hey, do you have tomfoolery contact? Okay. All right, we'll see if I can make it happen. It's gonna be interesting to hear what tomfoolery has to say. I just learned about that dude literally like fucking a week ago. Why don't you invite Pixie and Straighterdale? I don't know who. Why don't you invite Pixie and Straighterdale? I don't know who they are, but sure. Stefan, the educated tent ape rose stream brutally. Yeah, No. Yeah, he should not be doing that. Yeah, that's. I'm gonna have to have a little discussion with Greg about that. Probably not a good idea to put tan ape. Just say Stefan, the educated Stefan roast stream or Stefan brutally exposed. I feel like the ape part is like just completely unnecessary. I don't know. Yeah, not a fan of that.
Hey, Alex.
What's up?
Hey, Alex. What's up? Thanks for putting me on.
Sure, your audio is a little loud. Let me just see if I can adjust it. Okay.
Okay.
That should be better. Okay, say something now.
Testing 1, 2. How's that
Okay.
sound?
Pretty good. Yeah, it's a lot better. Yep.
Okay. Yeah, yesterday on that topic about girls hitting guys, I have a couple of stories. That's happened to me twice. Like just completely, it was both in social circles situations. Once when I was 14, and then another time in my I was about 24 or 25, and so when I was about 14, a girl in school just decked me pretty hard. She was a little taller than me too, and I was surprised at how hard she hit me. You know, and I was like, oh, but I didn't really react to it. So it seemed like sort of like a shit test, you know, to see if I would like completely lose my shit. And maybe like 6 months later, she somehow got my home phone number and called me and asked me out on a date. So it could have been like some sort of a shit test to see, you know, just see how I'd react, see if I could I get it, lose my mind over it. And then the second time, it was pretty much the same thing. There's a chick around my age in a social circle situation, and just completely decked me out of the blue. And I was like, I, I was like, I like that. Do it again. And she was like, ew, he likes it. And then like a few days later, she asked me if I wanted to hang out. So
Okay,
I
gotcha.
think
That's interesting. What did you want to discuss, Dennis?
So there's a. Can you hear me? Okay.
Yeah, we can hear you really loud.
Okay. So there's a Hamza video called "You Don't Need Experience with Women," and he goes over like um a couple different points about why you shouldn't have casual sex. And one of the points is that if you have casual sex with like let's say you don't think the girl's like too attractive, but you just want to. She's attractive enough to fuck, you know. So one of his arguments is like you'll end up falling in love with a girl that is low quality just because you fucked her. Do you think that's true?
What? No. Why would you fall in love with a girl you don't find attractive? I don't understand. What like once your penis goes inside a girl, you can't resist her. Like you can't. I fucked hundreds of girls. I never fell in love.
So Alex, you don't think that some guys just fuck a girl to get a nut off, and then they like catch feelings? You don't think that's ever happened?
Yeah, some guys are really dumb and they drink and drive and they get into a car crash or spend their whole life in jail. But yeah, there's things that the average person does that I think is pretty dumb. Is it this video?
Yeah, it's like an hour long, I think. But
It says it's 6 minutes long.
you don't need experience with women. No, it's another one. I think that's what the video is called. You don't need experience with women. But so you don't think if you like fuck the same girl like as a fuck buddy, you don't think guys catch feelings?
You can fuck a girl and not catch feelings.
How do you catch?
I think guys will catch feelings if they have the mentality of being subservient to the woman, because then it's like a rabbit hole that just gets deeper and deeper, and you're gonna have to simp harder and harder.
Because I think I've done that before. Like I matched with a girl on Tinder, and then I thought, oh, I'm just gonna fuck her, but ended up like catching feelings for her, and had to like. You've never dealt with that?
That seems like a really crazy. So like, it's like throwing the baby out with the bathwater. It's like, well, let's not have sex with women because there's a chance that some guys will fall in love with them and date them when they shouldn't have. That's like saying like, yeah, let's just all stop driving because some people are going to be really dumb and then they're going to crash their cars or they're going to drink and drive. It's like it doesn't make any more sense. Like the solution isn't to stop having casual sex. The solution isn't to fall in love with girls that you're not into. I mean, it seems like that's the common sense solution.
I mean, his point would be don't fall like, or don't even mess around with, don't fuck girls you would not want as a girlfriend. That's kind of the advice. Because you might like catch feelings for a low quality girl if you do.
Yeah, but she's gonna dump you for being too clingy anyway. So, you're still gonna take an L either way.
But I just wanted to get your take on it. I think it happens to a lot of dudes. That's my opinion. I think a lot of dudes just like might fuck a girl once or twice to get a nut off, and then they end up catching feelings for it. And then like fuck, you fell in love with like a hoe. I mean that happens a lot. Guys fall in love with hoes a lot, Alex.
Yeah, but is that manly to catch feelings more than the woman does?
Like the dude knows the girl's a slut and then catches feelings for her. Like you've heard a bunch of those stories, I bet.
Yeah, here's my advice. Take whatever Hamza says and do the opposite, and you'll be okay, probably.
I mean, you don't know guys that ever fell in love with a slut?
Sure. Yeah, that happens.
And then you're like, but I don't know. I think it makes sense.
To just avoid having sex with women because you might fall in love with a slut?
Nah. Well, avoid having sex with low quality women. Like, let's take for example. Oh yeah, I know this girl's a slut. I'll just fuck her a couple times, and then you end up catching feelings, and then you're in like a fucked up situation because your girlfriend has been like ran through a bunch. So I think it's good advice. Don't fuck low quality women.
Sure, I don't think that's a bad piece of advice. I think that's fair enough. Someone said this. Hamza went back to the girl and dumped him like a little bitch. Can someone confirm whether this is true or not?
Oh, every time he's posted a girlfriend, he's always gotten roasted. Like, oh, your girlfriend's ugly, and he's broken up with like 2 girls because of that.
That's pretty like lame as fuck to care what some random people on the internet think about your girlfriend. It doesn't show much willpower or character at all to me.
Oh my god, these dudes on the internet said my girlfriend wasn't attractive. Sorry, babe, I can't date you anymore.
That seems like super beta to me.
I don't think so, because sometimes like you're so emotional you can't see reality for what it is because you have so much emotion tied in. But like an objective viewer, like you know what I'm saying, someone that's like has no emotion tied to it can see the reality. Like this girl isn't hot, she's ugly, but he has too much invested and too many emotions he can't see straight.
Yeah, if you break up with your girlfriend because some people online told you to, then I'm gonna have close to no respect for you because I think that you're just like a little bitch. You should break up. The only reason to break up with your girlfriend is because you want to, because she either did something that you don't like or because you feel like she's not worthy of your attention. But if you're doing it because of peer pressure, because other people told you, that's pretty fucking lame.
So you think it's out of line if a guy ever like if my friend ever said, Dennis, like, what are you doing with this bitch? Like you can do better.
No, there's a difference between being your friend and you posting online to get feedback from your audience and people online, random people giving you feedback and you taking that into consideration. Obviously, you would value the advice of your friends a lot more than you would of a random person.
Okay, because because I don't think there's anything wrong saying like, bro, like you're settling, like you can do way better, like you're just coping, like you can do way better. I don't think there's anything wrong with
Yeah, there's
that.
nothing wrong with doing that. It's just if it takes a bunch of random strangers on the internet for you to figure that out, then you're probably not the brightest crayon in the tool shed, or whatever they say. Not the brightest crayon in the box. Oh, let's bring on BP Rick 13. What's up?
What is up? What is up?
How's it going?
What's up, Alex? How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. What do you want to discuss?
Hey, thanks for having me on, man. I appreciate it. Love your show. Love your channel.
Thank you.
Yeah. So MLD, man. I just think he got a little too emotional, to be honest. He could have held his frame a little bit better and said, "Yeah, I said that. Yeah, I said you're a fat bitch, and what are you gonna do about it?" Straight up.
Yeah, he kind of backtracked a lot and tried to play the what did I say exactly game, which only works if you didn't actually say the thing that you're being accused of.
No, exactly.
You got caught in that lie. It was pretty funny and satisfying to see on my end.
Yeah, exactly. No, he should have just owned up to it and stuck to his guns. I mean, if you have no preference for fat chicks, just say that, man. You can get away with being a fat bitch and get like rotations of dudes, but it just doesn't work in the opposite. Like if you're a fat dude, it's not going to happen. So
there's some fat guys who date girls, but yeah, I mean, I think he also, another thing about MLD, I'm pretty sure this is verifiable, is that he did liposuction. So he talks about like going to the gym and shit and like getting in shape.
Yeah.
But if you're doing a liposuction to get in shape, it's not like really going to the gym. Which is like, I guess, kind of explains why his like legs are so much smaller than the rest of his body. It's like really disproportional. It's like either like has never heard of leg day, or it's like something else is going on, or maybe both.
Just for you. I'm doing all right. How you doing?
More content for me.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
All right, let's bring on.
Hello? There you go. You have a good night, man.
You too. Thanks, man.
Hello?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, so, I'm kind of glad that this whole MLD thing is happening right now, personally. Because I actually have a personal gripe with him, because I actually spoke to him. I was actually one of his consultation clients one time back in like 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, so.
What happened?
So in private, we were just talking about like, girls and things along those lines, right? And just gave me like some like, honestly, it was good advice. I have to give him credit for that. And it was just nice. He was behind closed doors. He was like very nice. Gave me encouragement and things along those lines. And then even one time during one of his live streams after that, he was like, "Oh, you're a good-looking guy. I'm surprised he even needs my help or whatever." Things along those lines. And then he completely turned because I don't know if you know his course, Body Language Mastery, something along those lines.
I've heard of it, but I've never gone through it.
Yeah, so I ended up buying like the first, I guess, wave or whatever. And so we had behind the paywall thing or whatever, we have like these sort of calls. And then I was on one of the calls with about maybe around 80 guys. And like I remember I asked a question and he was like saying things like, "Oh, I'm weird," or things along those lines. Like he never said this thing in private, but like when there's like an audience, he wants to act like, I guess, quote unquote alpha, that makes sort of sense.
How much was his coaching program?
Wait, there's a lot of background noise, and Dennis, yeah, just keep your mic down because there's a lot of background noise. All right, keep going, eh?
Yeah. So that's pretty much it. It's just like he just completely did like a 180. Once the cameras are there, then he wants to like act tough and things along those lines. So,
right, give some examples of like how he act tough.
More like you just say things like, "Oh, like I'm weird." Like I can't remember the question I asked. I think something along the long because for me, I naturally have like a serious looking face. So sometimes I can be very like intimidating just by like appearance. And
Mm.
then from that, he was just like, I think I asked something along those lines, like, "Oh, I look very angry," or things along those lines. So you're just saying like, "Oh, I look very weird," you know, and things along those lines. It was a long time ago, but I can't specifically remember the specific things he said. But yeah, he was like a total dick, like completely.
How much was his coaching program?
It wasn't really a coaching program; it's more so of a course that included the coaching program. So it's
Yeah,
just
how much was it?
it was, I think, it came out to 400. I think because I'm in Canada, right? So it came out to about like $405, something along those lines.
Cool. And you think he was just trying to be a dick to like entertain people, or was he giving you like critical feedback? Like, there's a difference between being a dick and like actually like trying to help someone. Because
No,
sometimes when you're being honest, you hurt someone's feelings. You know?
no. It was a dick because remember I seen him in private and he was giving me actual good advice.
Okay, interesting. So you're saying he was one way in public and another way in private?
Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Let's bring on this dude, Michael J. What's up?
Hey, what's going on with you guys?
Not much. What do you want to talk about?
Oh, I just wanted to speak about the whole MLD thing. It's just that's like the topic of the
the
week kind of thing. So no, I kind of found it a little bit of a little too much the way that they talked about, like the way that they try to expose him and this or that. I think they were. I mean, the guy can be kind of a creep or whatever, but I don't. Just like to sort of coordinate this attack against him seems a little bit of a, like they kind of went out of their way, in my opinion, to do this.
Who's they? Like, you mean the value?
Yeah, I think like the producer or something, or I don't know exactly what her job is, but she seemed to kind of be in on it. And yeah, it just like it seemed a little desperate, in my opinion. It came across as like, it's like, okay, we got you now. Because the minute that the other girl, I don't know if the two are related. I don't want to make those assumptions, but the minute that she came up with, like he called her fat or something, it's like the minute that he like denied it or like claimed that he didn't remember, she's like, no, yeah, I know you did, or like this kind of like call out. It just seemed planned. It seemed coordinated. It seemed like, okay, at this particular time we're gonna bring this up, and just like if he tries to deny it, we have receipts or whatever. It just seems, kind of.
Do you think people should be called out for lying, for like blatant lies?
Yeah, they could be called out for that. Yeah, I wouldn't.
But now that
have an issue.
not
With
only
it.
that,
that's what
not
happened.
only that, I think she.
I'm talking about the way.
Called him out. Sorry. Go ahead.
I
think she's calling him out for not being manly, to pretending he didn't remember, and not standing behind what he said. It's not masculine.
And I think we can all agree that like leaving hate comments on YouTube streams, like that's like a low quality thing to do. Like just being in the comments section and just like insulting people. Like you guys agree, like it's a low status thing just to like watch YouTube and hate on people.
I mean, but
Because
he also
I
did
think
say that he trolls people. He also did say that he just like actually like send these like trolling comments to people or whatever. But it's like something that he generally does. So if that helps with anything, I guess.
That's not really an excuse. I would do the same thing if I was in a girl's shoes. I did that same thing to Stefan last night, right? He's always kind of nice to me when he's to my face, but then I know he like talks a lot of shit about me when I'm not around. So I would do the same exact thing to girls. I would be pushing and pushing. I might have even gotten harder, honestly. Like I might have kept even if he got caught on the lie.
Right,
I might have been even more ruthless. I'd be like, wait, it's okay, man. Like I know you said, but why do you have to lie?
I get you. Even if it's like a two-faced kind of thing, I mean, I would still call it two-faced. It still doesn't change the fact that people actually do this. This is like a thing that people do, like when they're in your comments or whatever, they just like saying like, oh, hey asshole, whatever, like, oh, your tight socks. Like people just like say these things, or like call a person fat, or like, oh, okay, your hair.
Yeah, I think that's like really beta behavior to say something in the comments that you would never say to a person's face. I think that is the
I
pinnacle
don't
of
think it's so much of a big deal.
loser behavior, and
No.
I will always call shit out like that. I think
you're taking this more seriously than you should, because
really
it's applying to a person that you probably don't like. If at any other time, you probably just call like, oh, it's kind of a passing trolling comment or whatever. But since it applies to a person that you seem to not like, it seems like you're just making a huge deal out of it. That's kind of how it comes across to me.
Why do you think I dislike him?
Well, you've been covering the stuff and calling him like a fraud or something, and calling him out, or like amplifying an attack against him, or amplifying an embarrassing moment about him. So it seems like you kind of side with the other with the opposition.
So because I made one video covering this topic, you think I don't like him?
One video covering the topic of an embarrassing moment for him, it's amplifying his embarrassment.
So anytime I make a video covering a negative situation,
not every time. No.
Well, how many videos then?
In the instance that you did, in the instance how you cover his attack, the incident that you cover his sort of a moment of embarrassment, that was being I mean, do you disagree that that's amplifying?
Yeah, I amplified it.
That's all I'm saying.
That's not because I don't like him. What's the evidence that I don't like him? I started off this thing by saying
I never said you didn't like him. I said that you seem to disagree with him. You seem to side with the opposition.
Now you're pulling an MLD. Now you're pulling an MLD. You said earlier that you wouldn't have done this if you didn't. You only did this because you don't like him. You said that.
No. Well, you seem to not like him. You seem to side with the opposition. I didn't assert specifically that you do not like him.
I think this is the main issue. The issue is he's supposed to set a good example for men. Right? He's supposed to set a good example, and him trolling people in YouTube comments is not setting a good example for men. You know what I'm saying? He's a millionaire or whatnot. He's supposed to set a good example. But what do you see him doing?
We don't know if he's a millionaire. Wait, but let me get back to the debate. Okay, so you did say that I didn't like him. Okay, so you can walk that position back. So you're now changing your position. You no longer think that I don't like him.
No, that's incorrect. I claim that you seem to disagree or side with his opposition. I never said that you don't like him. I don't know if you even know the guy, so I cannot say that you don't like him.
Do you want me to just play the clip back? Do we have to go there?
If I said specifically that you don't like him, I must have misspoken. But yeah, if you want to replay the clip back, sure.
Okay, so you're gonna say you're misspoken. Okay, so you no longer hold that position. That's fine. Okay, so your argument.
I never said that I meant to hold the position.
What does that even?
I don't. Okay. If I misspoke about saying that because you don't like him, then I sort of misspoke. That's what I'm saying. I meant to say that it seems like you agree, you disagree with his ideology or whatever he does, or him as a person.
You're no longer making the claim that the reason I did this stream is because I don't like him. You're no longer going to make that claim, right?
Okay. You keep sort of trying to pin me into agreeing that I make that claim, and when I'm saying I don't remember. Okay, I don't remember saying that specifically, but if I did say it, I kind of misspoke.
So just make a claim. What is your claim?
Your claim is that you disagree, or you side against what he does. You speak against I would say that you don't agree with this character, or the stuff that he does, or whatever he pushes. It seems to me that to you he comes across as a fraud. Would you disagree with that?
Yeah, I've been pretty public about the fact that I think he's a fraud. Doesn't mean I don't like him.
So would you? Okay, this is what I'm saying, right? If it's a person that you call a fraud, can we all agree that that's not a person that you would side with in a conversation? Let's say you think of the same thing about Rollo, right? If there's a conversation or debate with Rollo and Destiny, you probably side against Rollo, right?
I would look at the facts. I mean, you can make an argument. Wait, stop. You gotta stop interrupting me because I have to start muting you if you keep doing that. Yeah, I would. I mean, you can make the argument that I have a subconscious bias. I don't know about that, but yeah, I mean, I think that I would generally try to look at the facts, and the facts here are pretty clear. I'm not just pulling the shit out of my ass. I just played several clips. The first one was okay. Let's just go through the series of events. The first one is him saying that if you are in an abusive relationship, you should endure it, right, and put up with that. Do you agree or disagree with that?
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I didn't know you would be asking me questions about his stances. Can you repeat those for me?
Sure. So his claim is that if you're in an abusive relationship, physically abusive relationship, you just should endure it. Do you agree or disagree with that?
I think that's very nuanced, actually, and it may seem like I'm siding with abuse, but let's say like if you, it isn't like case by case scenario. It's contextual. So let's say if you're like can you want me to explain, or are you?
I want to ask a follow-up question. So if a girl hits you once, was there any circumstance where you give her a second chance?
Yeah, of course. There are circumstances.
You would put up with that? You would put up with a girl punching
if it's some, again, it's contextual, right? If a woman that I'm married to or whatever, let's say she gets upset or whatever, for whatever reason, she feels like I've done something to her and she slaps me. If it all depends on the circumstances, right? So she could be very upset or whatever, something serious happened to her job. She probably lost her job. She's not having a good day or whatever. And I probably left the trash. I forgot to take out the trash. She's like, she's had enough or whatever. She just slaps me or she just like pushes me out of the way. That would kind of count as physical abuse, but in a way I would understand and maybe try to work it out. So that's what I'm saying. It's contextual.
Okay, what if she punches you in the face, not slaps you? She full on punches you in the face.
Again, it's contextual.
So
what if I'd say, okay, you lost your job because you kind of suck at it. You're a bit of a bitch or whatever. She's like, I said like you deserve to have lost your job, or you like it. If it's like granted, if it's like kind of deserved, I would maybe get why she did it, and maybe try to work it out. If it's like if it becomes like a pattern, or it's like
okay, that's very interesting. I guess we have
if it's a pattern, it's like
I think we have a fundamentally different position on this. I think if a girl ever laid her hands on me, I don't care what her fucking reason was. That's the end of that relationship. I would walk away from that.
That sounds like a performative answer. I'm sorry.
No, that's like how I live my whole life.
That sounds like you're appealing to like an audience that it's like, okay,
No,
violence
you're right,
is bad.
Alex. You should never put up with abuse, man. Like,
Wait,
never.
is this
abuse? Is abuse? I'm sorry.
Is this a crazy position that you shouldn't let a girl hit you? Like you think?
No, man, that's a legitimate position.
It's contextual. It's contextual. Okay, it's not just like, okay, if a person hits you, that's it. No, it all depends.
Is cheating contextual?
Cheating is like a clear line, kind of it's like crossing a line. Obviously, there's no way. There's no reason. There's no reason why cheating would be justified.
But there's a reason why a girl punching you in the face would be justified.
If she maybe had enough in a day, have lost her temper, or whatever, I would not agree with it, but I would see why. In that sense, I was okay. I'm not okay with it. I'm like a slap or whatever. It's kind of funny that you moved away from the slap to like a punch, but
well, I'm just trying to I'm just trying to figure out where your line is of abuse that you would put up with. It's interesting. I guess hey, listen, like
it's not justified, but what I'm saying is like you would not break up with this person if it becomes like a tendency or like a pattern.
If a girl
then you'll probably
I will break up with her. I will not stay together with her.
Yeah, straight up. Straight up.
You can make the argument that's a performative answer. I think that's how 95% of guys would answer the question. I think very few guys would be like, yeah, if she's having a bad day, I would just let it go. But like,
yes.
But
it doesn't matter if 95% of guys would answer the question the same way, because 95% could still give you the performative answers. If you ask 95% of guys in this stream or whatever, like just like randomly pick out of like a group of people, 95% of guys, if they're racist or like they fucking love Nazism, they'll probably tell you no. But some cases, some of them are lying.
Do you think so? When you say performative answer, you mean like I don't really believe in that, right?
By performative, yeah, that's what I mean. You're just trying to appeal to an audience. You're not being honest with yourself. You're just giving like this
so you
sugar coated or
You think I really believe that if a girl punches you in the face that you should stay together with her? You think that's my real position?
I don't know. I don't think that if a girl it's abusive to you, like abusive to you, like the whatever, like someone who you live with or whatever, it's like someone that you're married to. I don't believe average. Maybe you have an extreme position, but I don't believe like the average person would just say, okay.
But you said you said I have a performative position, which means I don't believe what I'm saying.
That sounds performative.
Listen, man, 9 times out of 10, hey, 9 times out of 10, if you have domestic violence, they're not going to take your side as a guy. Even if she's beating your ass and got a knife out, all she's got to do is say, oh, he left a mark in my arm, and show him a little tiny scratch. Your ass is going to jail.
The problem is that now we're domestic violence, right? Domestic violence, it's not like an instant. It's like this one instant slap you. Okay, like now we're talking like a case of domestic violence. Talks about more like abuse and whatever. It's not just like, okay, she got really upset with me, slapped me or whatever because I called her word. It's like when we talk about domestic violence, that's not what we're talking about, generally speaking.
Your audio is really.
Wait, mine is.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
I think that's. Sprig, whatever. Prick.
This audio sound really bad.
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Did somebody ask me a question?
I don't think that's my audio. Just to be clear. Oh wait,
Okay.
let me try to fix my mic. I'm sorry.
His audio is breaking up.
Okay, let's let you fix the mic and then I'm gonna ask a few more questions.
I told a couple of stories of when chicks hit me, but don't get me wrong. I don't believe in tolerating any disrespect or abuse whatsoever. But in those couple of incidents, it didn't feel like disrespect at all. It kind of felt like a form of flirtation, even though it's maybe a little out of the ordinary.
There's a difference between like stop and like they're not the same thing. I understand that.
Yeah. Plus,
I'm not talking about the stop, babe. That's not what I'm talking about right now. If you let me clarify that. That's not what I meant when I was saying like abuse. I wasn't talking about the babe. That's not what I mean at all.
Yeah. I know where you're coming from. I pretty much have the same stance as you, Alex. But those situations, she did punch me, but she punched me like on the shoulder. Not like in the face or where it would hurt or something like that.
There's a difference between a friendly punch in the shoulder and a fucking full out swing. Okay, Michael. So is your audio good now?
Is this better? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, it's better. Okay, so I'm just so you no longer are going to say that this is a performative position of mine because you just said earlier that you might be different. So do you think me saying that I will not put up with a girl physically abusing me? Do you think I actually mean that? Or do you think that's a performative position?
Okay, I don't mean to call this out, Alex, but you seem to like keep reframing the things that I'm saying as though like, okay, are you no longer going to say that I said this when I actually never said that in the first place? You keep like framing this in a way that like, okay, are you going to backtrack from what you said when I actually never said? Like,
what do you think I'm accusing you of?
You're claiming that I called you performative. I said that sounds like a performative answer. Do you understand how the two are different, right?
That sounds like a performative answer. And then what did I ask?
The two are not the same,
right? And then what did I ask you after that? Is like, okay, so does that mean that you don't believe in the fact that that's my position? And you said yes. So you
I don't think that you're giving that answer. I mean, okay, there are two things. Either one, you're very like a very extreme person in some scenarios or whatever. Like it could also depend. But the other one, you're just lying.
Okay, so do you think? Okay, so let me just.
I missed what you just said. I'm sorry.
Just answer the question. Simple question. Do you think I'm being honest when I say that I wouldn't put up with a girl hitting me?
I would say that 30, 40, 50. I think 40% of you would not put up with that. I think that 60% of you would, and let's say that it all depends on like what we. And like what scenarios are we talking about? If you're married with if you're married with the woman, if you're married with her.
Wait, what does 40-60 mean? Like you mean like my torso would be okay with it, but my upper body would walk away? Like what does that mean, 40-60?
I think you're trying to ridicule what I said. But what I'm saying here is that it all depends, right? So let's say that if you're just like casually dating a girl, and she just like one day has a bad day or whatever. Oh, hey, babe, how are you doing? Like, and she's just like, okay, I don't want to talk to you. Just like fucking punches you or whatever. Like, probably in that case, you will break up with her like the first time it happens. If it's a woman that like you're married to, you have children with her, you guys have a house or whatever together, like with children. If this is a person that's like had a rough day, whatever, her dad died, and she's just like, can I get enough of your BS or whatever, like in that particular day, and she just like pushes you or whatever, and like you trip and fall or like hit your head. In that case, I don't think you would just like break up with her. In that instance, I don't think that first, I guess you call that abuse. It's physical abuse. Yeah, I get that. But I don't think in that case you'll probably break up with her. That's what I mean by like, it's a case by case scenario.
Why do you think I'm lying when I say that I would walk away when if a girl is physically abusive to me? Like, what makes you think that's a lie?
I just explained the reason why I think that that's a lie. You're framing it in a very black and white way, and it's like a lot more complicated.
That's not true. You explained to me how you think things would work out, but you did not tell me why you think I am lying when I say nope. No matter what the context is, if a girl like actually seriously physically hits me, I would walk away from that relationship. So
see how you reframed what I said earlier into like a.
wait.
Sorry.
Let's not do a meta conversation. So why do you think that's a lie?
Well, that's the problem. You don't want me to explain how you're being disingenuous in what I'm saying
I
here.
just want you to explain to me why you think I'm lying.
But I never said that. That's the problem. I already
Okay,
re-explained. I've re-explained to you what I actually said, but you went right back to step one, where like you mischaracterized what I said, skipped the whole correction of what I actually said, and then just like went right back because you want to seem like I'm backpedaling or whatever, like of what I said originally.
Okay, so what you said originally was the fact that in certain situations I would break up with a girl in certain way. If it was a casual relationship and she hit me, I would break up with her. And if it was a serious relationship, like we were married and she hit me, I would not break up with her. I heard everything you said. Now, what I'm saying is, no, your assessment of what would happen isn't true, irregardless of what that relationship is, whether it's a serious relationship or a casual relationship. I would still walk away. So then my follow-up question, so you see how I'm disagreeing with your assessment of how things would go. So my follow-up question is, why do you think what I'm telling you right now is a lie? Why do you think I'm lying when I say I would walk away regardless of whether it's serious or it's casual?
No, I'm speaking based on probabilities here, right? I've said that it's more probable that you will not break up with a wife, but at the same time, like I cannot like read your mind, right? I cannot just like know if you're just saying, okay, I actually would break up with her just to win the argument. You see what I'm saying? So it's like there's no way for me to tell if you're like being honest or not. I'm saying in most cases it's more probable that you will not do it if you're married to a woman with kids or whatever, and you guys have a home and this happens. It's more probable that will not happen. But in reality, I cannot read your mind. I cannot know if you actually would do it, if you're actually just trying to win an argument and say, yeah, I would do it in any case, like in any single
Listen, man.
Listen,
I've been married, man. Listen, I've been married with kids, okay? I've got 3 kids. I was married to the woman, that was the mother of my children. As soon as that bitch laid hands on me, I was out, man. I didn't give a shit if we had kids, bro. Like,
right, but it's
you
the
do
instance
not
of how it
stick
happened.
around because, listen, the reason why you don't stick around is because they're trying to assert their dominance over you as a man,
No.
and that's not how shit works. It's either your way or their highway, man.
Okay,
and
I never
is
said
not gonna
that.
lay hands
Though.
on me.
You see how I never said what you're claiming right now, the argument that you make it, I never said, right? I've never said that if a woman, it's like if you're married to a woman and kids and she's being abusive to you, a tendency of abuse, a very clear trend of abuse, that you should stay with her just because you guys are married and have kids. I'm talking about it's like a case by case basis, right? If a woman that you're married to slaps you one day because she's had like the worst day ever, she lost her job,
you grab her and you say you don't do that again.
Right,
you say,
exactly.
You grab her and you say you don't ever hit me again.
Right,
like,
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean,
I agree with you on that. Yeah, we're in this relationship, but this cannot turn into an abusive marriage or this.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, you just put. Yeah, I don't care how pretty she is, how good the pussy is. You're not gonna freak hands on me. I mean, that's just bottom line.
But what we talked about was
the first time.
The first time it happened. That's what we talked.
Well, I'm going to tell you. The number one reason is because it can be misconstrued against you, and they're going to take her side.
Absolutely, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah, the police are going to take her side, no matter how innocent you are, and I've never broken the law in my life. I'm a good guy.
Completely agree.
Whatever.
Yes. But you understand that what I was talking about was Alex asked me is if the first time a woman ever hits you, you break up with her and end it. That's why I said, it's more complicated than that. It's contextual. You see, like if you're married to this woman or whatever, she's technically she actually hit you, but it's like it all depends on what kind of hit it was. If the first time you're married to her, and like she had a bad day, she swings a bat at you and hits you and knocks you out.
Well,
I'm not saying of course that in that case you probably break up with her.
All right,
it's a bit more complicated.
Let me get back in this debate. Okay, so Michael, you said earlier.
This is not a debate, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, well, we can call it discussion or whatever, man. I mean, we're disagreeing. That's fine. It's okay. So you said earlier that, I can't read your mind, so therefore I don't know for a fact. Well, there are actually ways that you could prove what I'm saying is wrong. Like, for example, if there were statements I made earlier that go against what I'm saying now. So if there's a statement of me like either 10 minutes ago or 10 years ago saying, hey, actually, I would put up with a girl abusing me, blah, blah, blah. Like, that would be one piece of evidence that you would have, right? Unfortunately for you, I've been very honest. Another piece of evidence could be some kind of physical evidence. So that means that, you can show that stayed in a relationship with a girl abusing you, right? Like, there's oh, well, what about Anna from 3 years ago? She hit you 5 times, you stayed into it. Here's the police report. Here's this, right? That would be another piece of evidence, right? Again, unfortunately or you don't have any of that because none of my.
I'm sorry, your mic. You got to the sound of your car. It's you got to mute your mic, bud.
Yeah. Can you mute yourself for a second? I'll just mute you for a second. I'll just unmute you later. So that's kind of how you would show proof that I don't mean what I'm saying. But when you have none of that, you're just literally speculating that. Well, I think you're lying. That's kind of a bad faith to come from because I think I know what I would do a little bit better than you since I know myself and you know myself. So I understand how you might not walk away if a girl hits you the first time. And I said
it sounds like you're lying.
But what does it sound like? Like what are you basing that on? Like what's the evidence?
Based on the probability that this would actually happen.
Where's this?
I don't have to have I don't have to rewind back to 3 years of content creation and just he never contradicted himself.
Where did these probabilities come from?
Like just real life, just like my intuition of how life works and
so
real life.
So these probabilities came from inside your head.
No, I just people have an understanding of how life works. You don't have to read a study to know that if you see a car coming or whatever. In most cases, people are just going to jump in front of it.
These probabilities that you're talking about, where can I see them?
What do you mean?
You mentioned. Well, I'm basing. I think you're probably lying based on the probability.
Do you think the probability is it has to be written on paper?
Well, who invented these probabilities? Like who said it was 20%? Who said it was 40%? Is it just you? It's coming from your head. That's what it sounds like.
Okay. Do you think that we both have to read a paper that says a person, when there's a car coming at 50 miles away, this person's not going to see the car and just get in front of it? We need to see a paper that says this. This is not really common sense.
No, I think that when we're going to make a claim about something complex as will guys stay in a relationship with abuse, then yeah, we should have some kind of evidence for that.
So we agree that's complex. Thank you for agreeing.
Of course it's complex. We surveyed 1,000 guys. 30% of them said this, 40% of them said that. It sounds like you don't have any of that. It just sounds like you pulled some probabilities in your own head based on your own worldview, and then you're applying them to me. So, we don't have to keep harping on that, but that's pretty clear what happened there. Since we don't really have any evidence at all for where these probabilities come from. So say, well, it's based on probability, but the probabilities don't really exist anywhere outside of your head.
Do you have a study for? Do you have any anonymous? I'm sorry.
I'm not making.
Let me take your side for a second. Let me take your side for a second and be devil's advocate. Now Alex strikes me as the type of guy that has a low tolerance for BS and disrespect and heated arguments, stuff like that. Now, so it would never get to the point where a chick hits you or slaps you or hits you in a heated argument. Now, the only way a chick would hit you is if you have a history of having heated arguments and having escalate. That happens on a regular basis. So the type of guy who would tolerate a lot of BS and disrespect and heated arguments is probably the type of guy that wouldn't dump the girl the first time she hits him, because it's all kind of the same category. The type of guy who would dump the girl the first time she hits him is the type of guy that it would never even get to that point, because he's not going to be getting in heated arguments with her, going back and forth.
No, I'm not framing this as the type of back and forth, just constantly fighting and arguing about certain things. Or I'm just saying that, it could be a first time that you ever cross a line with your wife, something happened, you may be having a shitty day or whatever, and you say something so outrageous that she cannot believe that, what she just heard, and she just ends up slapping you or whatever. It's that's a shock or something. Yeah. She's okay, wow. So it's that is kind of the instance that I'm talking about. It's a first time kind of you kind of call it abuse. The average person would not. Sorry.
I don't know about that. If there's a first time, there's going to be a second time, and I would not. Yeah, if there's a first time, there's not going to be a second time. I'm not going to put myself in a position for there to be a second time. Never been hit by a girl. Never been hit by a girl that I'm dating or in a relationship with or I'm seeing. I've been hit by random drunk girls, I think 10 years ago, but never been hit by a girl I was in a relationship, and it never will happen, right? And if it does happen, I'll fucking walk away within 2 seconds. There's some shit cheating, physical violence that I just would not put up with at all. But
I don't think you're the average guy when it comes to that then.
Okay, well, let's just do a poll in the chat, and guys, just
let's ask your audience about it. Let's see who their side would.
Well, half my audience fucking hate watches.
Oh, right, yeah. versus like a random guy who they
Yeah, I just-
never heard of before. Yeah,
Yeah, I just.
But
I
that
just-
would be really
I just
objective.
think
You're
that
like
Tom
just listing everything as like bad faith. Okay, who do you
It's
want
not
to
bad faith. Like, let me ask my audience to see if they agree with me.
Okay, well, you can ask
sometimes
your
they disagree with me. Sometimes they call me a shitty. You know, they think I have shitty ideas. But yeah, let's see versus like some random guy that just had never heard of before.
My audience disagrees with me like literally half the time. But okay, let's just
Yeah,
move on
that's
to the second
meaningless.
part. So we're not okay. We're not really making progress on the hitting thing. It seems like you sort of agree with this position there. So why don't we just move on to the second thing?
I'm saying that his position is complicated. It's more he may not have done a good job of framing the position that what he wanted to say. Maybe he has more extreme position. Maybe he thinks that, you know, if a man abuses his wife or whatever, she could just stay, bro, just endure, like just
Michael,
just go along with it. I don't agree with that.
Michael, are you a parent? Do you have a daughter or do you have a niece or anything?
I do not know.
You don't have any like little nieces or something like that?
Yeah, I have one niece. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I have a little niece too. So I have actually several nieces now. So if your little niece came to you for advice, like let's say like fast forward like 15 years, she's 20 years old, she's in a relationship, and her partner, her boyfriend hits her in the face, right? And she's like, yeah, it's the first time it's happened. Should I give him a second chance? What would you say?
A punch in the face, hit her in the face with his fist, right?
Let's just say he's full on slapped her in the face. He's like, damn bitch, he did that. What would you tell your little?
I would say that in this case, slapping a woman in the face, I cannot think of many reasons for why a boyfriend would hit his girlfriend in the face. Like I cannot think of good justifying reasons for why that would happen in the case of just like a casual dating. So I'll probably tell her, by the way, you're muted, prick. I would probably tell her that, you know, it would be the best to just break up with this person. You don't have any strong attachment to this person. You guys don't have children or whatever. It seems like he may have a very, you know, can be very impulsive. He does not control his impulse very well. Maybe have like a short fuse or whatever. I would probably recommend her in that instance to break up with him. Sure.
Yeah, that's good advice. So you would not tell her to endure, correct?
Okay, this is what I'm talking about with you. What you always turn my points, like very nuanced and complicated point, into like very simplistic and stupid things, like as though I'm saying those things.
You literally
like I'm giving you a very nuanced explanation, like of how these things.
Just
just like,
my man, you just literally told her to walk away. So I'm just confirming.
yes, but that's not like that. It doesn't apply like in all scenarios. And this is what I'm talking about. You like framing these things that I'm saying in a very dishonest way, and just like spit them back to me, and like, so you tell her that okay, she should leave in this case. Like it's complicated, dude. That's all that I'm saying.
So what? Well, okay. So give me the complexity. What situation?
I just explained it to you.
No, what you said was if she comes to me, yeah, I can't imagine any real scenario where that would be acceptable. So therefore, I would probably tell her to walk away.
Because they're in a casual relationship. They're just dating. They don't have any children. They're not. How long have they been dating for? Like, they've been there for like 6 months or whatever. It's not something that she should like endure. That kind
Hey,
of
let him
abuse for.
speak, man. Hey, let Alex speak, dude.
I'm sorry, man.
Let's say that they are married, but they don't have any kids, and he just full on slaps her across the face, and she comes to you. What would you tell her little niece?
Okay. Let's see. Okay, so in that scenario now, it kind of matters. So let's say that did she hit him back? So without any.
No, let's assume she did not provoke and she did not hit him back.
Okay, so give me a little bit of let's say a background, like what actually happened. Let's say like did she come home late or whatever? Was she cheating on him or whatever?
Let's say he had a bad day at work and he was flipping out, and maybe she was like nagging him a little bit, and she was like, "Hey, babe, but you said you're going to throw out the trash. Not now. Wait, come on, babe. You said you were going to do it. The house is starting to smell. Whack, right? Like something like that. That's like
okay. In that instance, if she's married to the guy, I'll probably just like have him seek counseling. Like there's like there could not be you just like walking out right there. That's like, you know, it's like maybe seek counseling and, you know, like talk to a professional about that, and you know, just make it clear that that kind of abuse is unacceptable. And if it repeats itself, he's going to walk right out.
Okay.
And, you know, in that case, that would be.
We have different opinions on what to do when physical arises.
Just abuse, walk right out. I know that's your position. It's a black and white position. I get you.
Yeah, if one of my nieces ever comes to me and says that, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't even spend another second with this fucking dude who fucking physically.
Yeah, and niece is just like married with 3 kids or whatever, like for 6 years. The husband like hits her the first time or whatever, maybe not again. No, just walk right out, man. What are you doing?
The issue is that with physical abuse, it typically doesn't happen once. It happens once, and then it happens twice, and it happens 3 times. It's very rare that happens.
But would you agree that there are cases where these things happen just like one time but never repeat themselves? Is this ever possible?
I'm sure it's possible. I just think it's unlikely. But anyway, so let's
It
move
could
on.
be unlikely, sure.
Yes, it is unlikely. Okay, so let's move on.
It could be. I'm not saying that it is. I'm saying that it could be unlikely.
Okay, we covered the physical violence component pretty adequately. Let's move on to the next part of the whole MLD thing. Let's actually even skip ahead one, because let's do one that's a little bit more simpler, which is him basically acknowledging that he took a bottle and hit it on a girl's face, and Abram preached coverage of that. Like, do you disapprove of that?
Hitting a bitch with the bottle?
Yeah.
I mean, bruh. No, I think that hitting a woman with the bottle, I cannot think of that's just like, that's crossing a line. That's like giga chatting it in a way, but I don't think that's like, you could.
It's unacceptable, right?
Yeah, of course.
So then what's the problem with me criticizing that component of what he did if you think it's unacceptable too?
Okay. Is that really the question you want to ask me based on like the whole conversation we've just had? You think that I agree with them? You think that I have a problem with you? You think that the problem that you have, you think that I think that the problem that you have with him, it's only because you're criticizing him because he hit a woman in the face with a bottle. This is like the only reason why you think that I think that that's the only reason why you're criticizing him unfairly.
No, there's 4 components to my criticism. The first one was about the physical violence. Then the second one was about the way he handled the kick-out situation. We will talk about that one, but I want to shelve that. The third one is the physical violence, hitting the girl with a bottle, and the fourth one is saying that racist shit. So
that portion of it I disagree with. I cannot.
So what I'm doing is, because you're making the claim like, hey, I feel like you're unfairly covering him, right? So I want to take these 4 things one at a time and see how you feel about each one of them. Because let's say that hypothetically speaking, you agree with 3 out of 4 of my positions on these things, then you would have to change your position and not say I'm unfairly covering him. So it sounds like with the bottling girl in the face, like,
wait, hold on, let me rephrase that. I'm sorry. I want to rephrase what I said. I want to first ask, because I want to be responsible on the things that I'm saying here. I don't know the circumstances in which led him to hit a woman in the face with the bottle. I do not know what. I don't know the background.
It was because of rejection, apparently, wasn't it?
Reject. Okay, if she rejects him, then yeah, no, I don't agree with abusing a person, or even fist. I would disagree with that. Yeah.
Okay, so 25% of my coverage you're cool with, like that part of my coverage you're okay.
If that you disagree, or like why you sort of shit on him or whatever, I would kind of be against that.
You would you would be against.
I would be against the action of hitting a woman in the face with the bottle.
Right. So then you would by default have to support my action of me criticizing him for that, right?
I would also criticize him for that. So yeah, sure.
Okay. So we're good on that part. Okay. Let's now go a little bit further ahead and go to the racist.
Hey, Alex, can I comment?
Oh wait, sorry. Let me just give me like 5 more minutes and then.
Okay, go ahead.
So the racist part, you said you're also not a big fan of that, right?
The part.
The part where he called QB a monkey, a whatever, all that shit.
Wait, who is QB?
He's just like a black YouTuber.
And he
I thought I heard you say earlier.
black.
I wasn't a fan of that either, so that's why I
Wait, I never commented on anything race related, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I thought I heard you say that. Okay, well did you watch that part where I played the race shit?
I just hopped on stream like in your whatever. I started listening to you like maybe like about an hour ago.
Okay, I'll quickly summarize it for you. So
Sure.
They were having a debate. It's MLD and this black person named QB, and there's other people there, but mainly between them. And QB got really triggered and started calling him an uneducated, dumb ape. You're just a dumb monkey who can't read, right? And again, the context is that QB is black. So, like, do you think like that's acceptable?
If he was just to call him dumb and stupid and can't read, I would probably, if he has a reason to do that, then shall be okay with that. I think that the monkey part, there's like a racial aspect. I feel like he chose that. He may have chosen that specifically again, assuming that what you're saying is true about him.
It is, yeah.
You're summarizing it correctly. I'll probably say that the monkey aspect of it will probably be a little unnecessary, and it's like that could probably be chosen specifically because he was black. So in that case, I would probably come across as a little racist to me. Sure.
And it would be fair for me to criticize him for that racism.
Well, assuming that the guy did not say anything racist back to him, nothing racist was said to him first to grant that kind of response, then yeah, sure. I guess I'll probably be right to call that racist and deserve some criticism.
Okay, so far you agree with about 50% of my criticism towards MLD. So let's get to
okay. Well, first of all, I don't know if that's the reason why you're criticizing me. You're coming up with reasons like to say, okay, that's why I'm like I don't. Assuming that you're being honest when you say that that's why I'm criticizing him. Then sure.
No, my criticism in this stream, which will last about 40 minutes, included 4 different parts, right? And I just explained to you what those parts were. So I'm just breaking down part by part, right? It seems like with 2 out of those 4 parts, you actually agree with my criticism because you think my criticism was on point, right? So that's what I'm saying. The reason that I picked those parts is because I thought they were the most interesting, the most blatant, right? And also the ones that are most verifiable. Right. There's also some other interesting claims about him that I can't really confirm, so I didn't feel comfortable talking about them on my stream. So it was a combination of those being verifiable and those being interesting, right? That's why I think those. So those 2 out of 4 things like you don't have an issue with. So then we get to the infamous the walkout thing. So do you think he handled that, Michael? Do you think he handled that situation well?
I feel like if you're okay, can you give me some context on the walkout?
Did you not watch that?
I think I watched it, but there could be information that you could have that I may not pull. I just watched like the scene of the walkout. It's like, okay, like you want me to leave? I'm out. Peace, kind of thing. That's like the part that I saw, but I don't know what fully led him to walking out. So I don't know the reasons for why. If he ever mentioned the reason for why he walked out, I don't know any of those things. So if you want to like give me a summary for why you think it's fair or unfair for him to have walked out, based on what you know or saw.
Well, I'll just give you the summary of what happened. So apparently he was, before the show started, he was in a group chat. He was in a live chat where one of the girls who was on the panel with him, and he was calling her like fatty and saying like saying mean shit about her.
Before the show started?
No, this was like days beforehand. So she was on another show, right? He was just in the live chat and he was super chatting like nasty things about her. So anyway, so they're on the panel together. This is a few days later, and
I'm sorry, what things did he super chat about her? I just want to be sure.
About her being, I think he said that her being fatty, her being like the
40 pounds overweight.
Yeah, her being the reason that guys don't want to date in America. Which, by the way, there's like small elements of truth to what he's saying there, right? But
right, I just want to be clear that like I'm getting like the full picture here. I don't want to like your version of what you think he said. I just want to be clear that I get the full context of it.
Bro, I'm literally giving you like everything. That's all on the stream. But anyway, so then they had the stream, and they had this, and near the end of the panel, it was him and those girls, and he said something like, "I don't want to date a damaged girl, and I want a girl with healthy habits." So the girl asked him, "Well, do you think you have healthy habits?" And he said, "Yes, I think I do." And she's like, "Well, do you think it's a healthy habit to attack someone, about their weight, and then pretend to be all nice to their face, basically?" And he's like, "Well, what did I say? I didn't say anything." So he tried to play dumb for like 5-10 minutes, right? And then eventually they were like, "No, like this is what you said." And she read out the comments. And then after like 5 or 10 minutes of playing dumb, he finally acknowledged and said, "Okay, fine, I said it," right? So that was a bad look in of itself. And then he started getting like super red because the girls were like, "Well, dude, why don't you just own it? Like, you talk about being a man. Part of being a man is owning things instead of just like deflecting and like, acting the way you are." And he just seemed to get kind of triggered. He
Okay,
was like,
can I pause you there? I'm sorry. I know that you're sort of giving me a summary there, but I don't mean to come across as just interrupting. But okay, so one thing when it comes to do you believe that he could genuinely be claiming that he did not remember that instance of him calling her fat?
No, it happened too fast. I don't think so.
You think that like the time period from when he called her fat into when like he actually met her face to face, those two things it happened too quickly. So therefore it's probably impossible for him to not remember this.
That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying the time period between which he was confronted about calling her fat and him denying it to the part where he admitted it is like 5 minutes apart. That would be the quickest amnesia ever.
Okay, but under what? Okay, so first they said, okay, do you think it's okay to? I'm sorry, was someone saying something?
Yeah, he would have remembered because he went into a rant in the chat. He said a lot. He talked a lot of trash about her. So there's no way you're gonna talk that much trash about somebody and completely forget about it.
What? But if correctly, he said was she is 40. Comment about super chat for whatever show was about. He was chatting on. I don't know what that he ended up 50 pounds over. If the question, why are West not women or whatever? I mean, or like
your audio is so bad, we can't hear you. Can you fix
my
that?
God.
Hey, your mic is sucking.
It's like a.
One thing I will say though, it is possible that he might have forgotten, because I know there's some people who forget the breakfast that they ate that morning. But
Not,
with that,
not within 5 minutes though. It's
that's what I'm saying. Right? I do believe in this case it might not be true because of like the way a lot of the red pill guys kind of act, right? So I wouldn't be surprised either.
No, if he made one comment, maybe you could say he forgot. But he talked a lot of trash about her in the chat. So there's no way if you're going in on somebody, you're not gonna completely forget about it.
So was it one comment or was it like a bunch of comments in a row?
It was several comments. I don't know exactly.
Yeah, several.
Okay,
yeah,
good.
the co-host read them off, and there was a bunch of comments.
Okay, if that's the case, then I can see. Yeah, I'm on the guy's side.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
Is your mic good, Michael?
Hey, Alex, what are some false beliefs that a lot of black pillars have that they hold tightly onto?
Looks are the only things that matter. Your results game doesn't exist. Girls find it creepy when you're chatting, you cold approach them. Girls prefer online dating over any other ways of meeting men. I mean, there's a bunch.
Yeah, the online dating thing is crazy to me. Like, that doesn't make any common sense. You really think about it.
Yeah, pretty much every girl is like not too happy with online dating, but yeah, I guess.
Yeah, but even just like the safety aspect of it as well, right? Rather meet someone in person compared to say like online.
Well, they don't need to. If they're hot, they don't need to online date. I mean, I think that girls use online dating for the purpose of getting the perfect, guy out of their fantasy. Because they get hundreds of thousands
Dude,
of matches.
every woman is online. You got Facebook, that's like 4 billion right there. You got Instagram, that's like 2 or 3 billion. And then you got Tinder, Bumble, Hinge. I mean, they're all online.
I'm sorry, is this better, guys?
Yeah, it's better. Okay, so let's get back to where we were. So once again, so I think you've kind of heard my explanation. So do you think he handled that situation in a good way? Do you think he handled that?
Well, first, I have some clarities. I have some clarities when it comes to the explanation that you gave me. So let's say that was he commenting? I think this is the last thing that I was saying when my mic went shitty or something. So okay, he was commenting on her being overweight on a previous show, right? Let's say. Okay. And was this about, let's say a show we're talking boss or not dating to that?
You started.
Yeah. What
was this a show? What?
Jesus. Okay. Was this a show? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Was this a show about where women were, men were commenting on women's like the reasons why women were undateable or things like that?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay, so what was the maybe like the background or the context of the conversation that he commented that she was 40 pounds overweight?
I don't know what the context was.
Okay, but you would understand how in a context where they're asking for reasons why women are overweight.
It wasn't that though. I don't know exactly what his context was, but it wasn't that. It wasn't him just like giving some input. It was him just like basically shit talking the girl.
Okay, so was this in response to her shit talking someone else, like shit talking other men or whatever, for like not stepping
No.
up or being enough?
No.
But you would understand why I cannot comment on whether or not his comment justify.
Well, it's just
based on
interesting that you came
why
in.
he
You were criticizing my coverage of the MLD thing, but in reality, you don't really have all the facts about the story anyway. So it's like, well, if you don't have all the facts, then how do you know that my coverage is not good?
Well, I or over to the thing that he. That's all it. I your coverage. Was shit.
Arguing just to argue.
I still
that.
Your mic is just cutting in once again. Okay, what's your
Bro. Okay. I'm sorry. Sorry, come again?
What are you trying to say?
It's like this is such a distraction. I'm like looking at like how to fix my mic. Okay. But I am saying that I never criticized you for well, I guess you would call it criticism, but a mild criticism of like me disagreeing with the extent in which people were taking this, like his whole actions or whatever, his whole performance at the at this show, whatever, I can't remember the name of it, because he called a woman 40 pounds overweight. That's not. I don't have enough context.
That wasn't the issue. Well, yeah, maybe you should get the context first before you criticize.
Right, and that's why I asked you for it.
Right, but don't you think it makes sense to get the context first before you start criticizing?
And I literally asked you for it earlier, but you gave me an insufficient
no,
explanation.
You came in with criticism, and then you started asking for context.
No, I came in just disagreeing that you guys were blowing this out of proportion. That's not me criticizing anything that you've said, because from what I saw from like the last, the let's say 20-minute clips, whatever that I saw of it, it just seemed like it didn't seem to be as bad as as you guys are painting it to be.
But how do you know? You agree with 50% of the stuff I said, and with the one thing.
No, that's not. I knew you would come back with this, which is why I make sure to remember that breaking a bottle in a woman's face or whatever, or what was the other one? Being racist. Those are not the reasons why he's being criticized. It's because of the walkout at the particular show.
What are the four things that I criticized him on? Maybe you can repeat them to me. What are the four things that I criticized him on? Go ahead.
I pointed to you the racism in the bottle. Okay. The other one is to enduring physical abuse.
Yes.
And I'm probably going to be discredited because I can't remember every single thing you said verbatim. But yeah, I don't. That's the only thing that I remember. You
okay,
probably
yeah. Out of those three, it seems like you agree with two out of those three criticisms.
Sure. Was there another one? You said four.
There was another one. You don't remember it, which is funny that you.
Yeah, I know. Therefore, you're wrong because you can't remember everything that I said. I know, right?
No, it's just funny that you're criticizing a position that you don't really have any information on, any clarification on. Why not come in and ask
that's
for
why I asked you for clarification.
Right, you came in first with criticism. Why not first come in and ask for clarification, and you can make up your mind whether you.
I disagree with you on that. I'm sorry. I disagreed with you on not having just being critical, straightforward, and just straight out being critical of things without having any background. That's why I asked you first, what are the context on those things, before actually stating my opinion.
The first thing you did state your opinion is that you disagree with me. You disagree with how I've handled this coverage.
You guys are blowing out of proportion. That's what I said from the beginning.
Right. So that's a criticism, is it not?
But not because I disagree with you, but because you guys are blowing out of proportion. That's all.
But how do you know if we're blowing it out of proportion if you don't have all the facts?
Because based on what you're saying about it, it seems like you're, from what I saw, and you comment on the exact same thing that I have clear knowledge of, then that seems like a bit of an exaggeration on what I actually saw versus what you're saying that he did.
Okay. Anyway, I don't think we're going to make any more progress there. It's a good time to start wrapping up. Thank you, Michael. Always a pleasure. I enjoy a good discourse. Does anyone have anything else they want to say before we wrap up?
I do.
Yeah. I feel like the way the red pill guys go wrong is they actually don't believe in game. They believe in looks, money, and status, and especially leading with their wallet. and that's why they're gonna be perpetually in a rage because you leave with your wallet. Eventually, you're gonna get mad when your girl cheats on you with a broke guy. You know, so it's, and the black pill guys are kind of the same thing. They don't believe in game, so.
Kind of wasn't the same.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
so
just saying
that's
they're kinda
basically
one
what
and
it
the
is.
same.
All right. Cool. Anyone else before we wrap up?
What? So this is not.
I can barely hear you.
That's fine.
Okay. Anyway, cool. Well, anyway, thanks. Oh,
Can you hear me? I was gonna.
Slightly.
You read internet.
Go ahead.
I was gonna ask if you this last.
Dude, I can't hear you. We gotta do something about the audio, man. I cannot hear you at all. All right. Anyway, guys, appreciate you tuning in. This is a fun little debate. And I think we gave it some good coverage. So tomorrow we got a debate between Duke and Andrew from the Crucible. That one should be juicy as fuck. I think I'm gonna have my hands full moderating that. So tune in for that. And yeah, we got a lot of interesting things this week. So make sure you guys stay up to date on the PWF channel. I appreciate you all and have a good night. Take it easy.